Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine's interview series. I'm David Boone, Associate Publisher at CDO Magazine, and we're partnering with the MIT CDO IQ Symposium and the International Society for Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to Mick Hayashi at JGC. Tell us a little bit about JGC company and your role at the company.
JGC used to be Japan Gas Corporation, but now we call it just JGC. So we are a contractor building usually refinery or LNG plant or chemical plant. So what we usually do is engineering, procurement, and construction.
Excellent.
So what we do is quite complicated because partially because our project is huge, like probably 3 billion to 10 billion or 15 billion sometimes, and we may execute it alone or probably by joint venture with other big construction companies. Yes.
Excellent. Can you talk about some of the challenges that you face as a company faces as it pertains to data?
Yes. Right now I'm working in a department called EPC, which as I said, engineering, procurement, and construction. We call it EPC. So EPC DX department, digital transformation department, where we actually trying to find a way to not only improve what we do, but also try to make innovation through data, because the construction business has a long history, probably more than 2,000 years, but I would say it's very much behind compared to other industries in terms of usage of data, information, IT. So what we are trying to do is we reduce the cost of construction by making use of data, and also we enhance communication among the parties, especially with the client, ourselves, vendors, and suppliers, so that whole industry become more productive and efficient. So that is the biggest challenge, what we are trying to do, yes.
Excellent. So that means that you probably are working with a lot of unstructured data because of the construction industry.
Yes.
And so how do you kind of work with the vendor community as well, bringing them up to speed, not only just your company, but all the other vendors that have to go along with that construction, right? In terms of construction, how do you bring them along in that digital transformation process as well?
Well, that's a very, very good question. Well, beside what we are doing, trying to achieve, we also have some international initiative among these industries. So we have clients like ExxonMobil, Shell, or British Petroleum, and all sort of we call it super major companies. So our vendors, especially equipment vendors, they are selling big, huge compressors, pumps, and steel structure. All those people actually, they deal with our client after we finish building the plant. So the vendor will provide maintenance, support. So the team of our clients, together with our EPC contractor, try to form sort of a community that we actually propagate our ideas, so that the vendor will be convinced to provide data to sort of work together with us and then establish some common way of communication, such as probably through API or latest web technologies. So that's why we are all moving forward together, not only contractor, not only client, owner operators, but also vendors.
Excellent. So do you find yourself kind of focused more on and probably more data innovation or kind of cost saving projects while you're in the middle of building?
Well, the answer to it is actually I'm focusing on the innovation, but we cannot forget about one fact that trying to reduce the cost is also through innovation. So what we are trying to achieve is probably, not really, rocket science, but then just making use of existing data and then cleansing the data and then try to keep the data quality. But sometimes just trying to do actually requires some innovation. It's not only technology, it's actually through some cultural change, people mindset change. So all this all together will bring innovation. So that's what we are concentrated on. Yeah.
So, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So you mentioned about culture, you mentioned about, kind of having that, innovation part and the innovation kind of driving the cost savings. So in all of that, where do you see kind of the bottleneck in that process in trying to bring along that transformation?
Well, as you just mentioned, we have been doing our job through lots of documents, right? So our culture has been built upon documents, really, like specifications, procedures, drawings, and emails, So without actually analyzing what's the contents of the documents, the document is consisted of, the information, and information is built on top of data. So I also belong to Data Management Association. We call it DAMA. So we actually have a DM book, Data Management Body of Knowledge, which describe that we start with raw data, which will be formed into the information, and the information will be arranged to create a knowledge. So the documents or information could be just the expression of the data. But then if we only deal with documents, we lose sight actually what the data structures are. So it's all pieces of data actually building whole business. So that's why, so that is the biggest challenge, that we deal with data instead of documents, but we still need documents because we only could read documents. So, so that we can understand semantic, meaning of that. But then the computer cannot usually read documents, understand the contents, but it's easier for them to understand the data. So we have two sides of coins.
So in saying that, so you in reading the data, so have you brought in to the fold the machine learning and the AI part of that? And this is kind of like a two-part question. So in terms of AI, machine learning, but also kind of using cloud as well to help you with bringing kind of reading the data and bringing that all together.
When I talk about AI, so I usually categorize AI into two types. One is weak AI, and the other one is strong AI. Weak AI is usually focused on specific tasks. But then the strong AI is very generic. So the difference between two of them is actually like, for example, like face recognition, voice recognition, even automatic driving is all weak AI because they are focusing on one specific purpose. But then the strong AI could actually understand what people are talking about, but after that they form a model concept, and then they implement that concept. So, well, honestly speaking, I don't think we have reached the strong AI yet. So, well, having said that, okay, we collect lots of data from our projects, and then we have done more than 20,000 projects until today through almost 100 years of experience. Then we try to analyze, our data, but always we face the problem of data quality. So that means AI cannot be built on top of poor quality data. So actually, we try to make use of AI, but we have a lot of things to do before we even think about AI.
Excellent. So then how do you get support from the business in terms of driving the company in this transformation, in this digital transformation? Does that support come from above, or how does that work? Is it kind of top down or bottom up? How does that work?
Before I answer your question, let me explain a little bit about my experience. I graduated from Tokyo Institute of Technology, which is a sister university of MIT. And I studied building architecture. So my actually major is architect. Then I joined the construction company, and then I continue on the project management side. But at the same time, I learned programming, database, data management together. So in my mind, we have two me, like one side is business, the other side is IT. So I always trying to make use of IT, the technology, to help business, right? So then when I talk to IT people, they get scared if I talk about business flow or maybe values or legal issues. So it's actually this divide is the biggest problem. But IT side is always changing, advancing, very quickly. And the business side, they try to stay in the same place as far as they can make profit. So the culture is also different. Mindset is different. These days, okay, young people, you go for IT, old people, you go for business, but to me, it doesn't work like that. So I hope that business people and IT people work together to create the value. But we need a drive from business side because they create value and they actually give requirements to IT people. So, and then more and more these days are getting easier easier to program. Sometimes we call it codeless programming, non-coding, and lots of things are automated. So I think some of the specialists for IT side, we like them to go ahead, improving their technology. But then I think now we have to really concentrate on the business side. So they have to come up with the new ideas. They think about how we solve the problems, how we create the new values. So to answer your question, the business side is a key, but the biggest problem is the divide.
That's exciting. Listen, Mick, that's exciting. I mean, exciting for you to kind of blend both worlds together, and from architecture, the design part of it, and then bringing in the technology. that's pretty exciting. So my segue into this question is that then what excites you the most about kind of the future on what you're working on? What kind of gets you excited?
Well, to simply put, I'm excited about digital twin, BIM, building information modeling, this virtual reality, this kind of thing, because there actually is a consolidation of all the data, including visualization. And then they're only achievable based on the very, very good quality data. So that's the I mean, everybody talks about BIM or digital twins, that sort of things, but then they forget talking about data management to build a foundation to achieve those, concepts.
Excellent. Well, folks, listen, I'm going to tell you, I was excited to get a chance to talk to Mick Heishi. And I'm going to tell you, Mick, I want to thank you for joining me today. And folks, listen, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you.
Thank you.